Hello everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. This is going to be a hopefully pretty quick video where I'm going to be showing how to go from your synthesizers just playing a note when you press a key, kind of like a keyboard, into having it play a pre-programmed melody that you can adjust and change in real time. That part will be the focus of a future video, but for right now we're just going to get our synthesizer to play a pre-programmed melody. So, hop up, start coding along. If you enjoy it, learn something, definitely, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. You know how it goes. So let's look at what I've got right here. So as always, this sketch will be in the description of the video, as long as it's up there. Go find it. I'll also have the textbook page as well. So if you want to look through everything I'm saying, on the screen, text codes you can go check out, things you can see in a bit more detail, definitely check that out. It's very, very helpful, I feel. So right here I've just got a sketch with some instructions on it. So our goal is to be able to press the P key on the keyboard, P for play, in order to start the melody, and S on the keyboard for stop, in order to stop the melody. I've already got a synthesizer loaded up here. I'm not going to break down all the synthesizers right now and how to make those. Definitely check out my previous videos in this list that go over a lot about how to do that. I'll have links to that and other topics popping up in the cards throughout here. So I've got a synthesizer already made, and I'm just running it through a feedback delay just to make it sound a little more interesting. And then that's just the on-screen instructions. And then I've already got function key pressed ready to go with my keys that I want to use. So that way, just to save time, we can just put in the command to have everything go. So let's talk a little bit about the only other thing that you may not have seen before, and that is what I have on line 3 right now. So this is the musical melody that I want to have played. And essentially we can just set this as an array, and rather than just go through and make a whole thing in time, because I'm basically just picked random notes for this one, you can think of the melody here as each element in the array. So C3, D, G, F right here is one we can look at. Each element here is a beat in the music. Or another way to think of it is another tick of the clock. As we'll see in a little bit, there's actually going to be a clock in the background that's ticking. And this is what's going to be used to schedule all of the stuff that's going to be happening in our sketch. So for every tick of that clock, this is a note that's going to play. If you want to have multiple notes play in a beat, then you can put them in a little sub-array right here. So this element is this entire tiny array, and since we gave it 2 notes, it'll play 2 notes in the space of 1 beat. If you want to put 3 notes or 4 notes or 37 notes, you can do that. So if we're looking at just the rhythm, because I'm not about to sing the pitches, it's gonna look like this. If this is our tempo, do 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 do, restart, do 4 1 and 2 and 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 3 4. Can't make that any more straightforward. But you can set this. It can be any length. It can have as many subdivisions as you want. It can use whatever pitches you need. I prefer working in musical pitches just because I don't have to do math. So you just say what musical pitch you want and what octave you want. That's the designation right there. So at this point, we've got most of the parts. We just need to basically make the instructions that feed this into the synthesizer and then the clock that controls everything. So let's start with the clock just because that's less typing. So we need to pull up a thing called Tone.Transport. And so the transport is, again, that's what's moving everything along. In order to set the speed of this clock that's going to tick, we have to say .bpm, beats per minute, .value, and assign it a number. This number is the amount of times per minute this clock ticks. So if it goes at a rate of 60, then it's going to be 1 tick per second. At about do ish, in terms of tempo. For this video, I'm going to go a little faster. I'm going to pick 102. Why not? And then we just have to say, before we can actually use everything, we have to just say tone dot, if I could type, transport dot start. It's important that you start the whole clock, because if you don't start the main transport, nothing is going to move. It's kind of like being in a car. If you don't turn the car on, you can't drive anywhere. So this next part is going to be, I'm going to look at my little cheat sheet here just to make sure, because I always mess it up. But this is what we're going to make is a sequence now. And this sequence is going to say, hey, do a thing every tick of the clock. That's what we have to make. So I'm going to hop up here and give it a name. I'm just going to go sequence, SEQ, to make life easy. And we'll just do this in the setup function. So SEQ is going to be, if I could type correctly, a new tone.sequence. Now the sequence is going to need 3 arguments. The first is what to do every time it runs. The second is the notes that we're going to feed into it, and the third is what the beat division is. So let's start with the first one, the function that we're going to run every time. I believe you can do this with just a callback function, but we do run into a few issues. There was some stuff, so I'm going to show you a different way from what I've taught previously in the course, but it's going to put everything right here, right straightforward. It just may look a little different if you've only ever looked at my stuff before. So the first argument is going to be a function, and it's going to get the braces and the the parentheses and the curly braces just like normal. This function, we're going to feed in 2 arguments, that being the note that we want to give it. Oops, sorry, it should be the time to run this, and then the note that we want to feed in. And then in the curly braces here, just what we want to have happen. This is where we're going to pull up the trigger attack release method. So I'm going to talk to my synth, and we'll say dot trigger attack release. And we're going to feed in specifically that one particular note that we're feeding in, and I'm just going to give it an arbitrary 0.5 second duration on that note. Now we need to just navigate along and find the end of that curly brace. So this right here is all a function. It's a function with no name. We're just going to execute this function. It doesn't need a name every tick of the clock. What we need to have next is to tell it where to get the notes that we're feeding into it, and that's going to be the array that I have called melody. And I forgot my comma. Here we are. And then the last one is just saying what each of those instances are. So I'm going to make it a quarter note, or 4 in. You can look at the whole list of all the ways you can represent time in tone. 4 in means quarter note. This means that a quarter note, 1 note per beat, essentially, is how we're going to break this up. So that's where I was getting the, okay, each, no, go away plugin for Google Translate. That's where I was getting the 1 element equals 1 beat, is because we set it to a quarter note here. If you want to play an element of your melody array every 2 beats, you can make it a half note. If you wanted to play 2 elements per beat, you would make it an 8th note. And I'll show this in just a moment, but at this point, we've got almost everything we need. We've got the melody of notes to play that we'll hear in a moment. We've got the synthesizer that we can hear sounds with, and I added an effect just for fun. We've got the clock ready to monitor everything, and the sequence that tells us what to do every tick of the clock. All we have to do is tell the sequence to start and stop. So I'm going to go down to my key pressed function, where I'm just saying, hey, if you press the P key for play, then we'll say sequence dot start. And if you press the S key for stop, we'll say sequence dot stop, just like that. And that's really all it is. Let's run this. Hop over here. So if I press any just random buttons, nothing happens. Once I press P, we should start hearing this melody with the delay attached to it. And then it will stop. I should say it'll stop on the next tick of the clock. But again, this clock is just going. Press B, it'll start. Press that there. If I wanted to speed it up, I could make this faster. So maybe I wanted to make it go at 132 beats per minute instead. It's a little bit faster. Maybe I wanted to run it at, we'll pick that 60, 1 beat per second, like I mentioned. We hear that. So I'm going to put it back at a faster tempo right there. Again, to change what that division is, we can adjust this. So if it was a half note instead, that's lower tempo. If I made it a eighth note, now it'll be twice as fast. So there's a lot of customization is what I'm getting at. You can really fine-tune things, and you can adjust all of this in real time. That's going to be a topic of a future video, along with using the transport in order to schedule stuff to happen in the future. But that's where I'm going to end this video right now. So again, I've gone over all the bits. Definitely check out the textbook chapter in the description below, as well as this sketch. Let me know if you have any questions or running any bugs. I love, just seeing what people make and answering questions as they come along. And we're just going to go from there. So at this point, I'm rambling, so I'm going to end it out here like I said I would, and I will see you all the next time that I see you. Bye.